Inhale. Exhale 5. Inhale. Exhale 6. Inhale. Exhale 7. Inhale. Exhale 8. Inhale. Exhale 9. Inhale. Exhale 10. On the inhale, come forward to a plank. Stay in plank. Look slightly forward and squeeze at the bottom of your glutes. So you're kind of like lengthening your tailbone towards your heels. And then push the floor away from you. Inhale. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. Inhale. Exhale 6. Inhale. Exhale 7. Inhale. Exhale 8. Inhale. Exhale 9. Inhale. Exhale, go back, downward facing dog, lift the hips. On the inhale, soften the knees, slowly walk the feet toward the hands. Keep the feet about hips width distance apart. Keep the hands about 6 to 8 inches in front of the feet. Press your palms down. Let your head be heavy. Modified Uttanasana. Inhale. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. Inhale. Exhale 6. Inhale. Exhale 7. Inhale. Exhale 8. Inhale. Exhale 9. Inhale. Exhale 10. Soften the knees. Heel toe the feet out as wide as the mat. Come down to a squat. Bring the hands together in prayer. Press out with the forearm. Squeeze in with the knees. Yogi squat. Good. Inhale. Exhale 1. Sarah, push me away. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. Inhale. Exhale 6. Inhale. Exhale 7. Inhale. Exhale 8. Inhale. Exhale 9. Inhale. Exhale 10. And gently place the hands on the floor and come sit down. And let's, you can sit on blocks. You can sit on blankets. Echo, come on up here with me. Echo, most of you don't, I hope, everybody knows Echo, right? Echo is my other apprentice. Dominga's my apprentice, and Echo's my apprentice. Like, it's like having like your own little enclave, like posse. One of the things that kind of happens in life is that life like throws us surprises, right? Like life is never works out like the way that you think it's going to work out, or you kind of like, oh, it's going to be like this, it's going to be like that. One of the reasons why it's so great to focus on chakras, and you can call it opening chakras or balancing chakras or purifying of chakras, is these chakras are all related to aspects of our lives. And I feel that like when your chakras are out of balance or blocked or not operating the way that they open the way they should be, when life throws you little like curveballs, or when life does something that you don't think it should be giving you, then you're thrown way out of balance because you can't deal with that energy coming at you. So one of the things I love about the Urban Sadhu practice is that You never know what a teacher's going to do in class, right? There's other methodologies of yoga, like Ashtanga yoga, where you go and it's the same thing every time. We have a class like that. The express class is like that. Should be the same every time. But actually, that's not really realistic of how life works, right? Life is constantly changing and evolving. Maybe what was the right approach yesterday is not the right approach for today. Maybe the approach that you were thinking about for tomorrow is not actually the best option. So you change. You're open to change. You're letting that energy move fluidly and freely from one thing to another without trying to stifle it, control it, rein it in, like dominate it. So we're going to chant the bija mantras for the chakras. And the first chakra is, what's the first chakra's name?
Lam.
Lam is this bija mantra. What's its name?
Muladhara.
The Muladhara chakra. And its bija mantra is Lam. Everybody say Lam.
Lam.
What's the second chakra?
Sacral. So
What's the name of it in Sanskrit?
Svati.
Say it.
I can't remember. Svat.
You're close.
Svayusha.
Swadhisthana,
Swadhisthana.
her favorite standing place. And what's the bija mantra?
Vam.
I put it right there so you could cheat.
Yeah.
Vam, yeah, you could cheat on it, yeah. And then, what's the third one?
Manipura.
Manipura, what's the bija mantra?
Ram.
Ram. Then, what's the fourth one?
Heart chakra. Anahata.
Anahata, and what is its bija mantra?
Yam.
Yam. And then what is the fifth chakra?
Throat.
What's
Vishuddha.
Vishuddha, and what's its bija mantra?
Hum.
Hum. And then what is the sixth?
Third eye.
What's it called?
Anjali.
Anjane. And it's Om. And then what's the final one?
Sahasrara.
Sahasrara. And what is it?
Another Om.
Another Om. Lam Vam Ram Yam Om Om Om. Lam Vam Ram Yam Om Om Om. Lam Vam Ram Yam Om Om Om. Lam Vam Ram Yam Ham 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 Om Om. Again. Lam Vam Ram Yam Ham Om Om. 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 So each one of these sounds are connected to a chakra, and each one of those chakras an aspect of our being, our life, our spiritual being. And the idea of allowing that energy of Kundalini to flow fluidly through us is really that idea of living in harmony with life, just existing in a state of peace and shanti. Inhale deeply through the nose, fill up the lungs completely. Exhale everything out completely. Inhale halfway to a comfortable level. Start with a round of Kapalabhati, making short exhales on my clap. The inhales are happening. However, you are waking up Kundalini at the base of the spine. You'll feel the pelvic floor lifting as you pump that diaphragm. And you're sending energy upward. You're heating up the body. You're like moving this spiritual energy up toward enlightenment. Start to slow it down and exhale everything out. And at the base of that exhale, lift up at the pelvic floor, engaging Mula Bandha. Keep that lift through the whole practice, because that's what helps kind of push Kundalini upward through the chakras. Then connect to your Ujjayi pranayama again. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4. Inhale, come stand up at the top of your mat in Tadasana, mountain seat. Big toes and heels touch, tailbone moves toward pubic bone, gazes at the horizon, and all standing asanas relate to the Muladhara chakra, the root chakra. Bring the hands together in prayer. Set a higher intention for the practice today. Offer the practice up to that idea of achieving enlightenment, of achieving yoga. And then exhale, hands by the side, Tadasana, mountain seat. On the inhale, bring the hands together in prayer. Extend the arms, look up at the thumbs, Urdhva Hasana. Exhale, fold over the straight legs. You can assist today. You don't need to shadow me. Fold over the legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Adva Uttanasana. Exhale, step or jump back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, look past the hands. Inhale, step or jump the feet in between hands. Exhale, fold over legs. Inhale, rise up, extend the arms. Exhale, hands by the side, Tadasana. On the inhale, bring the hands together in prayer, extend the arms, Urdhva Hasana. Exhale, folding over the straight legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Adva Uttanasana. Exhale, step or jump back, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, quadriceps lift. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, look past the hands. Inhale, step or jump the feet in between the hands. Exhale, fold over the straight legs. Inhale, rise up, extend the arms. Exhale, hands by the side, Tadasana, mountain seat. With straight legs, inhale, hook thumbs, reach up and arch back. Exhale, bend knees, take arms behind back, clasp hands together in a fist, straighten. Inhale, bend knees, hands down next to feet, step right foot back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, coming forward to plank. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, slide forward, Bhujangasana. Exhale, tuck toes under, seat to heels, downward facing dog. Inhale, step right foot forward, look forward. Exhale, left foot next to right and fold over legs. Inhale, bend knees, hook thumbs, stand up, straighten legs, arch back. Exhale, bend knees, take arms behind back, clasp hands together in a fist, straighten. Inhale, bend knees, hands down next to feet, left foot back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, slide forward, Bhujangasana. Exhale, tuck toes under, seat onto heels, then lift knees up, downward facing dog. Inhale, lightly step left foot forward. Exhale, right foot meets left and fold. Inhale, bend knees, hook thumbs, stand up, straighten legs and arch back. Exhale, hands by the side to Tadasana, mountain seat. Let's do that again. Inhale, hook thumbs, reach up and arch back. Exhale, bend knees, take arms behind back, clasp hands together and a fist straighten. Inhale, bend knees, place hands down next to feet, step right foot back. So a little high, there you go. Exhale, downward facing dog. It can be a little on the thigh. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, slide forward, Bhujangasana. Exhale, tuck toes under, seat onto heels, lift knees up, downward facing dog. On the inhale, step the right foot forward. Exhale, left foot next to right, fold, good. Inhale, bend knees, hook thumbs, stand up, straighten legs, and arch back. Exhale, bend knees, take arms behind back, clasp hands together and a fist straighten. Inhale, bend knees, place hands down next to feet, step left foot back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, slide forward, cobra. Exhale, tuck toes under, seat to the heels, lift knees up, downward facing dog. Inhale, lightly step the left foot forward. Exhale, right foot meets left and fold over legs. Inhale, bend knees, hook thumbs, stand up, straighten legs, arch back. Exhale, hands by the side to Tadasana, mountain seat. On the inhale, bend the knees, Utkatasana, awkward chair. Exhale, put the hands on the earth, extend the legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Adva Uttanasana. Exhale, step, jump, walk back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. On the inhale, step the right foot forward, left heel down, rise up, warrior one. Exhale, hands down to the earth, step back, bend the elbows, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward, right heel down, rise up, warrior one. One breath. Exhale, hands down to the earth, step back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Again, inhale, right foot forward, left heel down, rise up, warrior one. Exhale, hands down to the floor, step back, bend the elbows, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward, right heel down, rise up, warrior one. Exhale, hands down to the floor, step back, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog, and stay. Inhale. Exhale, one. Inhale. Exhale, two. Inhale. Exhale, three. Inhale. Exhale, four. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, look past the hands. Inhale, step or jump the feet in between the hands. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, bend the knees, Utkatasana, awkward chair. Exhale, come stand up, Tadasana. On the inhale, bend the knees, Utkatasana. Exhale, place the hands on the earth, extend the legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift the head and chest, prepare. Exhale, step or jump back, Chaturanga Dandasana. This may be what you want to do. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. So here in down dog, how she's rounded, get her to bend her knees. Bend your knees, bend your knees. Now push back. So she's got to have a little bent knee. She locks her knees, she won't move her back. On your inhale, step the right foot forward, left heel down, rise up, Virabhadrasana, one. Exhale, open the arms and hips, warrior two. Then inhale, extend your right leg. Scoot your right foot forward a little bit if you need to. And then exhale, bend your right knee. And I want you to think about your mother as you're in warrior two. And breathe. Inhale. Exhale, one. Inhale, association. Exhale, two. Inhale. Exhale, three. Inhale. Exhale, four. Inhale. Exhale, five. On your inhale, extend. Then exhale, reach forward toward the windows. Place the right hand on the right shin. Lift the left arm up. Gaze at your left thumb, triangle, and think about all of the lessons that you've learned from your mother. Everything she ever taught you. Or the person who acted like your mother. Maybe it's not a biological mother, but the person who acted like your mother. And breathe. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Good. On your inhale, come all the way up to a stand. Then exhale, rebend your right knee. Place your right hand on a block or the floor outside your right foot. And then extend your left arm toward the windows and look into your inner left palm. And as you look into your inner left palm, I want you to think about your family on the side of your family, of your mother, like their lineage, those people who came before you. And maybe it's not your biological mother. I always want to remind you of that. The person who acted like your mother. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. So echo, let me see here real quick. Inhale. So as you're doing this, there should be a little more of a twist. Exhale, 5. All right. On your inhale, gently place your left hand down. Now come onto the ball of your left foot. Inhale, extend your right leg. Bump your back foot forward, about halfway. Lift your head and chest, and exhale, fold forward. And as you fold forward, send gratitude, blessings, and love to your mother, or the person who acted like your mother, her lineage, the things she taught you. Bow down to that energetic. Bow down to that energy. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. On your inhale, lift the head and chest. And exhale, step back, downward facing dog. So that's the thing about when we talk about chakras, you can't just open them unless you associate them to whatever that energetic is that they're associated with. The Muladhara chakra, foundation, family, money, work, home. Step the left foot forward, right heel down, rise up, warrior 1. Exhale, open up arms and hips, warrior 2. Inhale, extend the left leg, move the left foot forward a little bit if you need to. Then exhale, bend your left knee, warrior 2, and stay. Look at your left index finger and think of your father, or that person who acted like your father. And keep your father, or the person who acted like your father. It may not be a blood relative in your mind while you're performing this asana. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. So if you wanted to do that, you got to come to this side and you got to pull here and move here. So bend the knee. So down. So tuck this under instead of push out. So you're pushing out. I want you to tuck under there. Inhale, extend. Then exhale, reach forward to the left. Place your left hand on your left chin. Raise your right arm up. Look at your right thumb. And here, I want you to think about all the lessons that your father or that person who acted like your father taught you, and how maybe you still apply those lessons today. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. On your inhale, come all the way up to stand. Then exhale, bend the left knee. Place the left hand outside the left foot on the floor or block. And then extend your right arm toward the windows. Look into your right palm. And as you look into your right palm, I want you to think about your father's lineage, his parents, the people who came before him, who gave you this opportunity to be in this body. And breathe. Inhale. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. Then inhale, just place your right hand down. Come onto the ball of your right foot. Extend your left leg. Move your back foot forward. Then lift your head and chest. Pull your left hip back and exhale, fold forward. And bow down and send blessings, gratitude, and love to all of those things that your father gave you, your lineage, the whole idea of the connection. Here again, it may not be your biological father, but the person who acted like your father. Inhale. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. And inhale, lift the head and chest. And exhale, step back, downward facing dog. So now one of the misconceptions about this practice and me saying, think about your father, think about your mother and the lessons they taught you, is that somehow those were always like wise, deep, profound lessons that you learn from your parents. Sometimes children observe things on a very deep level, and sometimes children observe things and think, you know what, I'm not going to repeat what my parents did. I'm not going to do what they did. Those are lessons too. So we forget that those are very good lessons to not be your parents. On your inhale, come forward to a plank. Bring the big toes and heels to touch. Then exhale onto the right hand outside of the right foot and lift the left arm up. So go give somebody else an assist too. Go over and give somebody else an assist. Go over there and give Emmy assist. You're like stuck in one spot. Go over, you're like chakra is stuck. And think of your home. It's a house you own or rent, but what gives you stability when you go home? What gives you shelter? And then come forward to a plank. And then come onto the left hand, the outside of the left foot. Raise your right arm up. Look at your right thumb. And send blessings and love to where you actually live. That space that you call home, that gives you shelter. Even if it's temporary. Then come back and exhale the knees, the chest, the chin to the floor. And inhale, slide forward, Bhujangasana. Exhale, tuck the toes under, push the seat to the heels, and lift the knees up, downward facing dog. On the inhale, step the right foot forward in between your hands. Exhale, push through your left heel. Now, look at the windows. Bring your arms alongside your body as if you're about to be Flash Gordon and just fly through the windows. Now, shift weight into your right foot. On your inhale, lift your left foot off the floor, extending your right leg, coming into Warrior 3. So echo a better one. Inhale. Exhale 1. I'm going to put your foot here. You're going to reach back, grab my hands. Exhale 2. That's better. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. On your inhale, place your left hand down. Exhale, ground down in your left hand. Inhale, lift your right arm up, look over your right shoulder, and think about your job. What gives you financial security? Inhale. Exhale 1. Like this echo. Exhale 2. One hand here, one hand here. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. Now inhale, place your right hand down. Now exhale, fold forward and give gratitude, blessings, and love to that job, that security that you have that gives you financial stability. Inhale. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. And inhale, lift the head and chest. Exhale, soften your right knee. Inhale, step your left foot back into a long lunge where it came from. Exhale, right foot back, downward facing dog. Okay, let's do the other side. On your inhale, step your left foot forward in between your hands. Now, exhale, push through your right heel. Right heel's off the ground. Keep your torso connected to your thigh. Reach your arms back alongside your body. Look at the windows like you're about to take off like an airplane. Now shift weight into the left foot. Lift your right foot off the floor. As you do, extend through both legs. So put your foot here and then reach back. Inhale. Exhale 1. Drop your right hip. Exhale 2. Push into me more. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. On your inhale, place your right hand down. Exhale, ground down through your right hand. Use a block if you need to. Inhale, lift your left arm up and think about the corporation, the company, the business that gives you that job. And be grateful for that. Inhale. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. Then on your inhale, gently place your left hand down. And exhale, fold forward, bowing down, being grateful, giving thanks and praise for that opportunity. Inhale. Exhale 1. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. Inhale, lift the head and chest up. Then exhale, bend your left knee, step your right foot back into a long lunge. And then exhale, step back, downward facing dog. Good. On your inhale, come forward to a plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, look past your hands. Inhale, step or jump your feet in between your hands. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, bend the knees, Utkatasana, awkward chair. Exhale, come stand up, Tadasana. Step away from the front of the mat. Bring the big toes and heels to touch. Bring your hands together in prayer. Then lift high on the balls of your feet, pressing your inner heels together. Tiptoe asana, like you're in high heel shoes, and like those RuPaul kind of high heel shoes. So they're really nice 9-inch heels, right? 9 inches, yes, that's a lot. They have a platform. Okay, so you're pressing down and lifting up, and just think about all those things that keep you grounded in your life, that give you stability. Even when things are turbulent. Like I said, open chakras are about letting change happen when they need to change. Keep the heels lifted. Start to descend your seat towards your lifted heels. Start to reach your arms forward like you're holding a pot. And as you bend your knees, allow your seat to come all the way down to your lifted heels. Then open up your knees, lean forward, and put the little pot on the floor and come sit down. Extend your legs out in front of you and flex your feet, lift your head and chest. And then exhale, fold forward. And as you fold forward, I want you to think about a past romantic partnership. One maybe that has unresolved issues. And I want you to see that person that you have those unresolved issues with and allow yourself to fold forward and get rid of that relationship that's not working for you anymore, right? Forward folds are dealing with the Swadhisthana chakra. The Swadhisthana chakra is all about creativity, intimacy, sexuality. Forward folds are about letting go of the past and the stuff that's behind you. It's opening up the back of the body. So when you fold forward, you're not folding forward downward, you're actually folding forward into the future. You're moving into the future. You're moving into something new. You're letting go of the things that are tight in the back behind you that have already happened, and you're going to let go of that stuff, and you're going to open up the back of the body so you can move forward. So it's a release, right? And so as you are folding forward, we're going to practice a little practice that is part of a Kundalini tradition. So inhale, lift all the way up and extend your arms out in front of you and interlace your fingers with your index finger pointing forward and your thumbs up toward the ceiling. This is called Kali Mudra. And what we're going to do is we're going to go inhale, and then as we move forward, we're going to go Vam. Inhale, Vam. Out loud, inhale, Vam. Say it out loud, Vam. Vam. Use your voice, Vam. Vam. 3 more times. Vam. 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 Reach out and grab your feet again and fold deeper. And allow yourself to let go of that relationship. So she wants you to look forward right here. She wants you to look like that. Why? So why do I want you to look forward? Because you're letting go of what's behind you. So you're not looking back at your own crotch. You're looking at the future. On the inhale, lift the head and chest. And exhale, hands by the hips. On the inhale, bend the right knee into the chest. And then exhale, open up the right knee, place the right foot on the inside of the left thigh, twist the torso over the left leg. And I want you to bring to mind maybe a situation, romantic situation that you have right now or you're looking to engage in. And breathe in. Look at your toes. Don't look at your crotch. Fold forward and hold onto your foot. And think about that situation or that relationship. Now, maybe you're in a situation where you're not really interested right now in a romantic involvement. That is okay too. Listen, don't think that if there are times in our lives when romantic involvement may not be the best thing for us, right? That's being open to that energetic of chakra and change too. So you may go, well, Austin, I don't have anything right now I'm looking to get involved in. I'm happy being single and living alone. You know, that's okay. That's okay. That's part of your stability and where you are right now. So don't think that you have to, or this is suggesting that you need to. Lift the head and chest, lift the knee up, extend the leg out. And then switch sides. Bend the left knee, open up the left knee, left foot on inside of right thigh. Twist the torso over the right leg. And exhale, fold forward. And whatever situation you're in, as long as it's healthy and productive and wonderfully uplifting, be grateful for that. Whether you're romantically involved or you're happily single right now. And breathe. Then gently lift the head and chest up, lifting the knee up and extending the leg out. On your inhale, bend both your knees. Place your heels where your knees were. Feet about hips width distance apart, 2 fists. Take your hands behind you about 6 to 8 inches with your fingers pointing forward. On the inhale, lift the hips. And then exhale, let the head go back. Come into breath of fire here, making short and equal inhales and exhales through the nose. Like a puppy dog sniffing. Start to slow down that breath of fire. Exhale everything out. Calm down. And then open up your knees. Bring your feet together. Bring your heels closer to your pubic bone. Take your thumbs. Open up the soles of your feet like a book. Think of a creative situation in your life. Maybe it's artistic. Maybe it's a business endeavor. But it's creating something new. And be grateful for that, be able to be the energy of being able to create. And exhale, fold forwards. And as you fold forward, think about that. Think about how wonderful it is to be able to manifest. Dominga, you don't look happy manifesting. Fold forward. Dominga looks unsure about manifestation and creative energy at this moment. Breathe. So here again, like you start to associate these asanas with different aspects of your life, you can open up the energetic of these asanas and tap into them. Then inhale, lift the head and chest, and then lift your knees up. Cross one ankle over the other. I don't mind which one. Roll over your shins. Step back to a plank. And then bend the elbows, chaturanga. If you jump back, that's fine too. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, now we're going to move into the next chakra. And the next chakra is the Manipura chakra. It's the ego. It's how you see your personality operating in the world and how you conduct yourself and use that personality in a sense of power. On your inhale, step your right foot forward in between your hands. Then exhale, drop down to your left knee. Then lift your torso up. Bring your arms alongside the ears. And then exhale, bring the hands together in prayer. And you're going to twist over to the right. And then lift your left knee up. And as you extend the leg, look over your right shoulder in a twist. So twisting is related to the Manipura chakra. And this is happening right above your belly button. This idea of power and authority is related also to digestion. Hatha Yoga Pradipika says that the digestive fire is directly related to any kind of twisting. Then come back to center, put your hands on the floor, and extend your right leg. Bump your back foot up about halfway, like a Parvottanasana for a rotated triangle. Then bring your left arm to the outside of your right foot. So your left hand's going to come on the outside of your right foot. Your left arm is going to touch your right shin. Then bring your right hand to your right hip and sacrum. Just make sure you're not twisting from the sacrum. And then lift your right arm up and look over your right shoulder. It goes on to say that twisting can help to remove disease. Now that's one of those kind of things that in the ancient texts, they love talking about disease. But I think that this is not so much talking about physical disease, but as a spiritual disease, spiritual corruption or toxicity, right? So if you think of it as that, it becomes something very different. Then place the hands on the floor, frame your right foot, bend your right knee and bring your left knee to the outside of your right foot and sit down in Adva Matsyendrasana. And once you have plugged the sit bones into the earth, lift your left arm up alongside your left ear and twist over to the right. Bring your right hand behind you, look over your right shoulder. And so it says that this also, Adva Matsyendrasana, also awakens the serpent power, meaning kundalini, and brings equilibrium to the bindu, or that space in between your third eye, that consciousness, that cosmic consciousness. So as you're twisting, what's happening is you're moving out of the me, myself, and I realm, and you're moving the energy up into a more subtle realm, right? Come back to center, and then exhale, counter rotate, and then inhale, come back to center, and then exhale, swing your right leg around and just step back into a downward facing dog. Now, since it also deals with digestion and power, it also deals with how we're approaching the food we eat and what we maybe need to change in our diets as a yogi. Because a lot of times I've heard people say, well, I eat this and I eat that, I eat meat because it gives me power. I had one guy tell me one time that he was smarter than me because he ate meat. On your inhale, he doesn't work for me anymore. Step your left foot forward in between your hands and then drop down to your right knee. That's how smart he was. And then lift your arms up alongside your ears and then bring your hands together in prayer and twist over to the left. Then lift your right knee up. And what we don't really think about when we think about ego and power, we have a lot of identification with food, and we think that food gives us our personality. We sometimes think it gives us our culture, and we start to associate food with power and identity. And we do take advantage of other beings, not just animal beings when it comes to food. Come back to center, put the hands on the floor, straighten the left leg, bump the back foot forward about halfway, lift your head and chest, pull your left hip back, then bring your right arm in front of your left shin, put your right hand on the outside of your left foot, then bring your left hand to your left hip, pull your left hip back, and then lift your left arm up toward the ceiling, rotated triangle. We don't really understand the dynamic of power and the commodity of food and how that other beings are cheated in labor, that other beings are enslaved. And the food industry doesn't want you to see any of this. They don't want you to know any of this. But you feel powerful because you live in a country where there's always bounty. Then come back to center, put your hands on the floor, and then soften your left knee, bring your right knee to the outside of your left foot and sit down. So twisting wakes up also your consciousness in that relationship to ego, power, and food. I find that very interesting. Even the ancients saw that. Lift your right arm up and then twist over to the left and look over your left shoulder. And if the ancients could see this, if ancient yogis could see this, then modern yogis have to take note of this. We have to become more aware of how we actually consume and what we consume and how we think we're powerful because we consume it. And how we think it gives us our personality, our strength, our vitality, our vigor. On your inhale, come back to center. And exhale, counter twist. And come back to center. And exhale, go back downward facing dog. So when we start to become conscious of our actions and our awareness, then we can let go of that. We can change that. We can take that from a very predictable point of view to a more unpredictable, thought out point of view. And we can kind of start to move into actions of compassion, which is the heart. Come forward to a plank, and from plank, lower all the way down onto your abdomen. Okay? Now, locust, any variation of locust you wish. All I ask is you keep your legs together. If you want to take your hands behind your back, do so. If you want to keep your arms by alongside your body, do so. On your inhale, lift the head, chest, legs, and arms. And note that what's really opening here is the center of your chest. That's why your scapula comes down the back and you lift the shoulders away from the floor. And this is the center of compassion, unconditional love, of letting go of the ego. And that's why he says in Hatha Yoga Pradipika, Kundalini is being awakened and being sent up to the third eye. It's going into spiritual realms of consciousness now. And then gently come down, release, and just rock out your hips. Now, one of the things probably people don't really realize, back in the old days, a lot of yoga asana was all practiced with the focus of these chakras and this concept of Kundalini. You never just went to a flow class. That's like some modern idea of what yoga is. You did yoga for the purpose of enlightenment. That was the only reason why you did asana, was to be enlightened, not to have nice hamstrings or a cute tush. You know, it just wasn't. Bend your knees, reach back, grab your ankles. Pull your navel toward the spine. On your inhale, lift up. And as you lift up, start to think about how that this unconditional love and compassion can be sent to other beings that you share this planet and this life with. And gently start to come down, release your feet, relax. How that you can open up your heart to those beings. That you can show them the same kind of compassion that you would like to be shown. The same kind of love that you would like to be shown. And I'm not talking about romantic love. I'm talking about a kind of love that doesn't want anything in return. Respect. Like, wow, that's a big one right now in this country, right? Showing other people you don't agree with respect. Just simple respect. Allowing them to exist in the same space that you're existing in. Unconditional love, compassion, allows space for those beings, even if you don't agree with their lifestyles. Even if you don't like the way they dress. Bring your forehead to the earth, bend the knees, reach back, grab the ankles. On your inhale, lift up. And start to think about how you can be more compassion-centered in your actions. And then gently come down. Release. And that compassion not only goes out to human beings, it goes out to animal beings. It goes out to water beings, sky beings. It goes out to tree beings and mountain beings. It goes out to like all the little beings that you don't like. Like Bobby's like going crazy at our house because all these ants, we have an ant problem this year. And I'm like, Bob, leave the ants alone. Just let them be. They're just being ants. They're not bothering you. The cats don't like them. I don't know why. Bring your hands by your chest, elbows close to the ribs. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to a plank. Exhale, the knees, the chest, the chin to the floor. Inhale, slide forward, Bhujangasana. Exhale, come down and roll over onto the back. Bend the knees, tickle the heels with the fingertips. Feet are going to be about a hip's width distance apart and parallel. Yes, do you want something? You want a bolster. And then lift the hips, the lower, the middle back. Clasp the hands together in a fist. So as we move into Urban Dhanurasana, like why would Urban Dhanurasana, upward bow, be so important? Well, Urban Dhanurasana is you bending over backwards. Literally, that's what you're doing. You're in an inversion. Your heart is above your head. You're exposing the most vulnerable parts of your body to the world, and you're bending over backwards for the world. This is the greatest act of compassion that you can do. It is a symbolic form of compassion. Like, I know a lot of people who can do Urban Dhanurasana like gangbusters, but they're not like very compassionate. They don't have a lot of unconditional love, but they've never associated the asana with the concept of compassion and unconditional love. They've only associated the asana with nailing it, with having an Instagram photo taken, with like having everybody tell them what a beautiful back bend they have. It's not about the way your back bend looks. It's about the energetic that you perform the asana with. Release the hands, come down the middle back, the lower back, and the hips. Now, so the reason why I say that is because some people times have shoulder injuries. Sometimes they have scoliosis. They have things that actually, if we just think about asana as aesthetics, they'll never feel like they actually achieve that energetic of the asana. That's why I always suggest props. I don't care how you do the asana. I just want you to try the asana because it's going to open up your heart no matter how it looks in the end. Because it's about your effort. It's not about you nailing it. Save nailing it for some video game. Place the hands next to the head, elbows toward the ceiling. On the inhale, lift all the way up or wherever you are today. Upward bow. And think about how this is actually doing exactly what I said. It's exposing you. It's opening up your vulnerable parts. It's opening up your heart. You're bending over backwards for the world. Bring the chin into the chest and come down the upper, the middle, the lower back. And I find this a hard asana. This is a very difficult asana physically, but a very powerful asana. Place the hands next to the head, elbows toward the ceiling. On your inhale, come back up. And feel this energetic that you're experiencing of total openness to the world. Bring the chin into the chest and gently come down. Good for you. Good. Last time, place the hands next to the head. On the inhale, come up again. And feel how this energy is really starting to move up into your throat. That's the other thing. This last asana kind of puts everything into the throat. And then come down and bring your chin into, bring your knees into your chest. Give your knees a little hug. So the energy moving from the heart moves up into the throat. Because once you find that compassion and unconditional love that's in the center of your spiritual being, you have to learn to express it. Right? And you have to be able to sing about it, talk about it. This is why we chant. Like, people don't understand, why do we chant in this tradition? We chant because chanting is directly related to the Vishuddha chakra, the throat, and you being able to express in a mantra or a sloka unconditional love that's already written in has a direct relationship to your ability to express that to the world around you when you're just talking to other beings. Bring your knees over to the left, extend your right arm out, look over your right shoulder. And that's why kirtans and chanting are so important. Because kirtans and chanting is always about unconditional love, spiritual compassion. The throat also directly relates to us asking the question, who am I? Us wanting to know who we truly are, not the body, not the mind, not the thoughts, not the feelings. Those are all the lower three chakras. But now we're asking, who am I as a spiritual being? Bring the knees back to center and go to the other side. And shoulder stand is directly related to the Vishuddha chakra. Now, a lot of times people can't do shoulder stand. So what do? You can't do shoulder stand. You're going to want to focus on that space at the base of your throat. You're going to meditate on it, and you're going to use the bija mantra. You're going to chant internally, hum. Or, if you want to add a complete mantra to that, so hum, right? I am. So meaning I, hum meaning am. But isn't that interesting that a mantra that we chant as a complete mantra and say it's a complete mantra is two bijas, two seeds put together, I am, and the am is the bija mantra for the throat. Then come back to center, bring the knees into the chest, place your feet on the floor, and let's set up for shoulder stand. Salamba Sarvangasana or legs up the wall, either one of those. If shoulder stand is not in your practice because of a physical situation, shoulder injuries or whatever, or inversions are not possible. Because I had somebody say to me the other day, they said, I have some problems with dizziness, vertigo. And every time I need to not do inversions, what do? I'm like, if you can't do the physical inversion, then what you do in a chakra-related situation is you meditate on that chakra and you apply the bija mantra. When we look at the Yoga Upanishads, these are early texts. They come right after the Vedic period. Chakras are discussed, but as chakras are discussed, they're also the only connection to opening them is just to set in meditation and focus on the symbols of those chakras and the bija sounds of those chakras. And asana hasn't really come into play yet. Asana physical practice isn't really part of it at that point. So it's the meditation that is the most important in the earlier traditions. Move your hips forward and your feet back. Better. But inversions fascinate people because in the chakra system, shoulder stand, once you get into shoulder stand and you get into the Vishuddha chakra, you're in the realm of divinity. You're in the energetics of spirituality that's deeply profound. God consciousness, self-awareness of the true self. You're in the realm of enlightenment. You know, what is enlightenment? That's a good question. Like, what is enlightenment? Because when I started practicing yoga, enlightenment was put out toward me in this kind of like something that only very few beings ever achieve. Enlightenment is really understanding God consciousness and the oneness of being, that everything is interconnected, and that you can see divinity in other beings. Like I said, Bobby was having trouble with those little ants, but Bobby wasn't looking at the ants as God. Bob was seeing the little ants as messing with the cat's cat food. The ants were invaders. They were others. And then Bob's mind was just all chittavritti, right? He's like spraying stuff everywhere. I'm like, you gotta stop spraying that stuff, man. But these ants. I'm like, Bob, just take the food, put it in the refrigerator so the cats want another nibble. Stop treating the ants as others. They're just sharing your space. And that stuff's giving me a headache you're spraying. Flex the feet, let the toes come overhead, let the toes touch the floor behind the head. Clasp the hands together in a fist. Halasana. Now in Halasana, you may taste a little bit of a toxic, metallic, coppery taste at the back of the throat. It says that this is the toxins, the hala, that's being pressed out of your throat, your glandular systems, your thyroids. I don't know if that's true. It's just very interesting, and there have been many times in yoga class when I'm practicing halasana that I have tasted this metallic taste in the back of my throat. I cannot explain it. It tastes like copper. Then the knees, reach back, grab the ankles, or the back of the knee joints, Karnapidasana. Then place the hands on the floor, slowly come down one vertebrae at a time till the hips touch the floor. Extend the legs out, unfold the mat, take the blanket out from underneath you. Lay down on the back, turn the palms to face up, press into the elbows, puff up the chest, come onto the top of the head. And press into the elbows, bring the chin in the chest and come down. Bring the knees into the chest, give the knees a hug, roll over to the left side, come into a child's seat. And in child's seat, a lot of times people ask, what's important in child's seat? Is it important that my seat comes to my heels? When you're dealing with chakras, the most important thing is that your forehead, that space in between your eyebrows, is on the floor. Does not matter that your booty is on your heels. Not when you're dealing with chakras. Why? Because the third eye is the Anjane chakra. It's directly in between your eyebrows. I read that from Hatha Yoga Pradipika, where I said that twisting brings equanimity or to the bindu, equilibrium. That's what it was, equilibrium. So here again, it relates to this idea of conscious cosmic openness, that the third eye becomes open and you can actually see cosmically. Not physically, but cosmically. And that relates to the next chakra, right? Just like the stomach relates to the third eye relates to the I am principle, the I am Brahman, I am Shiva, Shivoham. Interlace the hands together, make one fist, place the top of the head on the floor, tuck the toes under, lift the knees up. Walk the feet forward so the hips are over the shoulders. You can stay there. Listen, this is an inversion. Your heart is above your head. The top of the head is on the floor, which is stimulating the crown chakra. You don't have to get the legs in the air. It's nice, but that, here again, it's not the goal of an aesthetic asana. It's a practice. Then, if you want to, bring your knees into your chest. Bring your feet towards your heels, feet towards your heels, and extend your legs up last. I don't mind if you use walls. I want to express this also here, like when it's just like upward bow. If you have to use 2 folding chairs to come into headstand, great. If you have to use 8 blocks to come into a headstand, great. If you have to use one of these aerial hammocks above our head, great. It doesn't matter how you achieve the inversion. And let's say here again, we're dealing with somebody who says, I can't do the inversion because I have a neck injury. What am I going to do? You're going to sit and meditate on the crown of your head and internally chant Om. This is why the meditation that we recommend at Urban Sadhu Yoga, we tell people inhale Om, exhale Om. Because it's the seed mantra for the Sahasrara chakra, the crown chakra. So, I can't do headstand. Great. Meditate on that chakra. Don't worry about the headstand. There's other ways to achieve this energetic without you thinking. So here I'm going to show you, let's do it this way. Let me show you this way. Because she's going to kick you in the nose. So here's what I want you to do. You're not going to open your hip. I'm going to push into your leg and you're going to lift this leg up. No, let her lift it by herself. Let her do it. Lift your leg up, all the way up. Lift your hips. Squeeze your legs together. So if you do it like you're doing it, she's going to kick you in the face when she lifts up. So you're going to step to the side. Squeeze everything together. Don't bend. Squeeze. There you go. That's good. And you're always going to kind of stand to the side a little bit. Because if she falls, she's going to fall right on you. So you always want to be a little to the side. Now, there are other things, details I haven't given you about these chakras, that they're related to elements, they're related to colors, they're related to glandular systems. Too much of you don't want to overwhelm the information altogether. What you want to do is kind of give this in little segments so that you can kind of get used to seeing the asanas alone as associated with chakras. Then we can add a color. Then we can add a symbol. Then we can add a glandular. Then you can add deities. Each chakra is associated with its own deity, such as, which would make sense, and I'm going to tell you this one just because it would make sense if you know anything about yoga. The Muladhara chakra is associated with Ganesha. Ganesha is the first deity that you always see when you go into a temple. He is the remover of the obstacle. He is the opener of a gate. So he is the dominant force at the Muladhara chakra. Then it moves into other deities. And you could focus on it like that. Right? Which is very interesting meditation. I used to do that meditation with Bhagavan Das. Very interesting, very powerful. Gently, slowly start to come down and rest in child's seat. And as you rest in child's seat, you can reach back, hold onto your ankles. Good. Crazy. Echo. I will let you do everything. I'm going to play the harmonium. And then lift the torso up and slowly come into Shavasana, corpse seat. And you can lay down with your head toward the windows, your feet toward the mirrors. And from here, now let the body relax. Let go of Mula Bandha. Let go of Ujjayi Pranayama. Just let the body be heavy. Shavasana, corpse seat. And I will chant these bija mantras, starting with the root chakra, all the way to Sahasrahara, and then I'll put that bija mantra together as one mantra. Lam 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 la la 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 lam la. Moving up to the Swadhisthana chakra. Vam 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 va va 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 vam vam. Moving up to the Manipura chakra. Ram 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 ra ra 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 ram Moving up to the Anahata chakra. Yam 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 ya ya 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 yam Moving up to the Vishuddha chakra. Hum 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 ha ha 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 hum, ha ha hum, ha ha hum, ha ha hum, Moving up to the Anjane chakra. Om 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 O 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 Om Moving up to the Swadhisthana chakra. Lam bam ram yam hum om om. 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 Gently start to deepen the breath. And as you deepen the breath, make small movements with the fingers and the toes. Stretch the arms overhead. And stretch the arms and legs in opposite directions. Gently draw the knees into the chest, giving the knees a hug. And slowly roll over to the right side. And pressing the left palm into the earth, lift the torso up. And come up to a seated position for meditation practice. So once you've found your seat, commit to that seat. Be still, close the eyes. And bring awareness to the breath again. You don't have to employ Ujjayi Pranayama, but there should be breath awareness. And start to draw the senses inward, letting my voice be the last thing that leaves. Focus at the crown of your head, the top of your head, and applying that bija mantra of Om to the Swadhisthana, the Sahasrara chakra. On your inhales, chant to yourself Om. And as you exhale, chant to yourself Om. Inhaling Om and exhaling Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bringing the hands together in undulating mudra, bowing the head slightly, giving thanks and praise and for the teachings and teachers of yoga from the past, the present, and still teachers and teachings that are yet to be revealed. Om Bolo Sadguru Bhagavan Ki Jai. Namaste. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Echo, for assisting me. Don't forget, Yogeshwari is going to be teaching my classes on Tuesday night, the 11th, and the 18th. My class is usually at 6:30, I think. We're going to move it to 7 so that more people can get here. We're canceling the 7 p.m. over in the other space, which is Echo is going to be teaching that class from now on, right? Am I right? Okay, and so after Yogeshwari, she's going to be taking that class. Do the headstand workshop with me, come on back. See you at 5 o'clock. All right, 5 o'clock rocks, man.